These are 5 wiper blade brands that mechanics, reviewers, and thousands of car owners say you should never put on your windshield. There are 6 brands that people report lasted 2 years or longer without streaking, chattering, or falling apart. Some of the biggest brand names on the shelf are actually manufactured by obscure third-party companies you have never heard of. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which ones are wasting your money, and which ones can genuinely last years. Walk into any big box store, scroll through Amazon, or check the bins at Costco, and you will see familiar names: 5+, Michelin, Goodyear, lined up with price tags that look like a bargain. But behind these labels, the story changes fast. Take 5+, for example. It is marketed as a silicone-style upgrade, yet the blades are built from low-grade EPDM rubber, not real silicone. Amazon listings put them at $12 to $15 a set, but countless owner reviews and independent testers have flagged the same problems: streaks, chattering, and cracks showing up in as little as 3 months. SlashGear calls out 5+ as one of the 3 worst wiper brands on the market, pointing to premature failure and a total lack of transparency about who actually makes the product. There is no disclosed factory, no warranty, and no real support, just a generic OEM quality claim that falls apart the first time you hit a rainstorm. Michelin's budget Guardian Hybrid line is next. The packaging leans hard on the Michelin name, but the blade itself is manufactured by Pylon, a Florida company that licenses the brand. Walmart and Amazon both carry the Guardian Hybrid at around $19 to $22 per blade, but the real cost comes later. The rubber is a cost-cut blend, not the premium compound you would expect from a tire giant. Lab tests show cracks forming after just 24 to 48 hours of ozone exposure, barely enough time for a weekend road trip. There is a bigger issue too. Multiple reports, including a Tesla Motors Club post, describe the entire blade detaching at highway speeds. One Model 3 owner lost visibility at 70 miles per hour when the wiper simply flew off. Pylon's own statement admits that adhesive mounts on some batches can fail under aerodynamic lift. But there is no recall, just a recommendation to check the torque yourself. For a product that is supposed to keep you safe in the rain, that is a deal breaker. Costco's Goodyear branded blades look like another safe bet, especially at $8 to $10 a piece, or $45 for a bulk pack. But these are not made by Goodyear at all. Savor Auto Products, a private label manufacturer, produces them under license. The result is soft rubber that hardens and loses pressure within weeks. Toyota Nation forum users complain about chattering and streaks after just a couple of rainstorms. Field reports and warranty data put the average lifespan at 4 to 5 months, meaning you will be swapping these blades out at least twice a year. Over a decade, that adds up to $432 or more, not counting the hassle and the risk of losing visibility right when you need it most. The pattern is clear: big names, bargain prices, and hidden manufacturing shortcuts that put both your wallet and your safety on the line. Anco's 31 series has been a staple on big box shelves for decades, but the reality behind the low price tag is hard to ignore. Jeep and RV owners in the Monacoers community have called out the blade for one glaring weakness: winter. After just 2 Midwest snowstorms, a 2016 Grand Cherokee owner reported the left-hand Anco blade cracked along the rubber edge, the end cap popped loose at 55 miles per hour, and the metal arm scraped the windshield. The photos told the story: a fractured blade, exposed metal, and a wiper that lost its grip on the glass. A follow-up post measured a 15% drop in spring tension after only 6 weeks. The replacement was a Bosch Icon, which outlasted the winter without a hitch. Cold weather isn't the only enemy. Ozone exposure, the same culprit that causes rubber to dry and split, accelerates the breakdown. ASTM D1149 testing puts EPDM rubber like Anco's at risk for visible cracking after just 24 to 48 hours in a high ozone chamber. In real-world terms, That means a blade can go from flexible to brittle before the first oil change. The monocoquille's thread isn't an outlier. Dozens of Walmart reviews echo the same complaints: chattering, streaks, and edge splits after a single season. Trico's Exact Fit line, sold everywhere from Summit Racing to AutoZone, promises a factory-style fit for almost any car. But the reality was less reassuring. On the E46 Fanatics forum, a BMW owner installed new Trico Exact Fit blades and heard a sharp pop after just 18 days. The tension spring snapped at the midpoint, leaving the blade flopping loose at highway speed. A Reddit crosspost included a video. The blade swings out, exposes bare metal, and nearly detaches at 30 miles per hour. The packaging claims a 2-year warranty, but the real-world service life was under a month. Other posts cite inconsistent fit, loose end caps, and blades that don't hug the windshield, especially on older cars with curved glass. Both cases point to the same root cause. Budget blades like Anco 31 series and Trico Exact Fit rely on basic EPDM rubber and cost-cut steel springs. When exposed to ozone, cold snaps, or even mild road salt, the materials lose flexibility and strength. The result is a blade that fails structurally, cracking, popping loose, or simply losing pressure long before the advertised lifespan. For drivers in snowy climates, or those who rely on their wipers for more than 6 months at a time, these failures aren't just annoying, they are a safety risk. The pattern is clear: cheap materials, outsourced manufacturing, and a design that can't stand up to real-world weather. That is why so many owner forums and review sites warn against these budget lines. The evidence stacks up. When it comes to wipers, the bargain bin is a gamble you do not want to take. Lab results don't lie. When you put cheap rubber and real silicone wiper blades head-to-head in a controlled ozone chamber, the difference is night and day. ASTM D1149 testing, the industry standard for measuring crack resistance, exposes the real culprit behind early blade failure. Ozone eats away at EPDM rubber. In these tests, conventional rubber blades, like the ones stamped out for most budget lines, start to crack within 24 to 48 hours of exposure. That's less than a weekend in a polluted city, or a few days parked under the summer sun. By the time you hit the 3-month mark, those tiny cracks have spread, turning a once smooth edge into a streaky, brittle mess. Silicone tells a different story. Under the same ASTM test, full silicone blades do not develop a single visible crack, not even after 168 hours in high ozone conditions. That's a full week, non-stop, in a lab environment designed to accelerate failure. This is not just lab magic. In the real world, that chemical stability means silicone blades stay flexible through heat, cold, and UV exposure. Owner reports and field tests back it up. Rubber blades last about 6 to 12 months before they start skipping or splitting, but premium silicone options routinely hit 18, 24, even 48 months before needing a swap. There is another edge. Silicone leaves a hydrophobic coating on the glass. Water beads up and rolls off, cutting down glare and helping visibility at highway speeds. That's not marketing hype. It's measured in contact angle tests, where silicone-treated windshields shed water faster and more completely than any rubber blade can manage. The numbers are clear: rubber cracks in days, silicone shrugs off months of abuse. That's why the next segment zeroes in on the brands using this chemistry to deliver real 2-year-plus durability. PIAA Super Silicone sits at the top of nearly every long-term owner report. One Corvette owner logged 8.5 years and over 150,000 miles without a single streak or crack. The secret is pure silicone and a hydrophobic coating that beads water off instantly. Amazon prices run $30 to $36 per blade, and you are buying 2 to 3 years of clear vision. Bosch Icon, the lab-tested favorite on Project Farm and Review.com, uses a dual compound rubber with silicone enhancement. It shrugged off 1.5 million wipe cycles in Bosch's own testing, and owner forums routinely report 3-year lifespans. Expect to pay about $28 to $34 at AutoZone or Rock Auto. Rain-X Silicone Endura is the sleeper pick. A Gear Junkie teardown found it shares a manufacturing batch with PIAA SciTech, but Rain-X adds a proprietary water-repellent finish and sells for $26 to $32 on Amazon or Walmart. Field tests and long-term owner reports show 24 to 48 months of streak-free use, even in harsh climates. Silblade's PTFE and graphite coating delivers ultra-low friction and a 5-year warranty. A Cool Tools writer ran a set on a Land Cruiser for 4 winters before swapping, and the cost per year drops under $10 if you buy direct. Trico Silicone Ceramic brings ceramic reinforced silicone to the mix, with a 1.5 million wipe cycle rating and prices around $34 to $40. Vallejo 600 series, the go-to OEM blade for GM and Ford, uses a hybrid silicone rubber compound and typically lasts 24 to 30 months, with prices around $32 to $38 at Napa or AutoZone. Over a decade, these premium blades average just $275 total, compared to $600 for constant cheap blade swaps. The safety case is just as clear. NHTSA logged 575,000 rain-related crashes last year. 90% of driving decisions depend on what you see. If you only follow one recommendation, Rain-X Silicone Endura offers top-tier durability and water repellency at a price lower than its closest rivals. For less than the cost of a single insurance deductible, you can buy a decade of clear, safe driving. Right now, nearly 575,000 crashes a year happen in the United States in rain or mist, and 90% of your decisions depend on what you see. Saving $10 at Walmart or Costco means risking streaks, noise, and real danger. Rain-X Silicone Endura lasts, costs less long-term, and keeps you safe. Drive smart, choose wisely.